All right, so if you're looking to buy a home here in the city of Murrieta, California, and your budget's right about $700,000, I think this is going to be a really helpful video for you. I'm going to go over the best areas to buy a home in Murrieta for $700,000 or less, and really where I think you can get your best bang for the buck. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula, and this video is all about the city of Murrieta, and we're going to go over where you can find the best bang for the buck and where the best areas are to buy a home in the city of Murrieta for $700,000 or less. So I'm going to go over some of my favorite neighborhoods if you are looking in that price range. But first, before I get into all the information, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe to the channel. Obviously, it helps me and it helps my channels. We try to continue to grow it. And then that's the best way to stay on top of all of our newest videos. So we have ones that we put out each and every week. So every Thursday, we have new videos that come out. It's all just kind of local based, real estate info. So going over cities of Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, California. We have market update videos, best neighborhood recommendations, and best school districts, and all types of different stuff. But we have new videos that come out each and every week for that. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. So you're gonna see my information down below. You can feel free, you're gonna see my information below. You could call, you could text, you can email me, or at the end you'll see my information there as well. You're welcome to reach out, happy to answer any questions that you may have. Love to point you in the right direction, or of course, if I can help you out with your real estate search, I'd love to be a resource for you. That's how I earn a living. So would love to have the opportunity to help you out with that as well. But let's go ahead and we'll get into the video. Cool. All right. So again, this video, we're going to set the budget for about $700,000. I'm going to give you my favorite areas. If you are not super familiar, in city of Murrieta, the average home price now is about $750,000 to $760,000. So depending the time of year that we've been looking, over the last year, but right in that mid $700,000 range. So I figured if we look at the budget cut, if we want to stick under average, so a little bit of a lower price point, so $700,000 and under, and if that's going to be our budget, so kind of under the average price point, where would be the best areas for us to focus on? And this is obviously these are conversations that I have with clients all the time. If we are going to be in that price range, and I want to give my recommendations on some of those different areas. One thing to think about if you are looking in this price range, so like an under average price point, you just want to think about like, hey, am I okay to buy a home that is maybe a little bit bigger, but is going to be a little bit more dated and not necessarily as move-in ready, and I might have to put some TLC into it over the next couple of years to really kind of dial the house in? Or would I prefer something that is maybe a little bit smaller and more dialed in, right? It's just been remodeled over the last couple of years and a little more current, right? Or are we okay buying something that was built in '89 and it's kind of all builder original and I'm going to make it my own myself? So you just got to kind of think about what those priorities are going to be. But these are the neighborhoods that I usually recommend in Murrieta if we are on a little bit of a budget. So number one, probably one of my favorite parts of Murrieta is the area of Central Murrieta. So if you are not super familiar with the area, kind of general, lay of the land, the way Murrieta is set up. So you have the 15 freeway that runs pretty much north and south. So south, that'll take you down to San Diego. North, it takes you towards Corona and kind of towards the LA area, but more or less goes pretty north and south. And then you have the 215 freeway kind of branches off of that. So 215 freeway branches off, towards the northeast, towards the city of Riverside, and it creates like this V, right? So the 15 freeway and the 215 here connect, and then you have the V that goes up, right? So, but anyways, that V off the freeways really divides the city into three different sections. So you have the 15 freeway, anything to the west of that, so kind of towards kind of where the ocean would be eventually if you go that way, so west, that would be considered West Murrieta. So that's West Murrieta, where between the two freeways is going to be Central Murrieta, and then to the right, so to the east of that 215 freeway, is going to be considered East Murrieta. And that's kind of the general lay of the land of how the city is split up. That west part of Murrieta tends to be a little bit more expensive, so a little bit higher price point, but central Murrieta tends to be my favorite area for anyone that's on a little bit more of a budget, because you can get more bang for your buck there, right? So the homes tend to be a little bit older, so usually those homes are going to be built in like the late 80s to mid 90s to the late 90s, so a little bit older than some of the other areas, but they do tend to have lower property taxes, so they are going to be a little more affordable as far as monthly payments go, and then a lot of those neighborhoods also are going to have no HOA. So I took a look kind of in the general, what you can get for your money there in Central Murrieta. You can buy a home just for let's call it $680,000 to $700,000. You can buy a home that's like 1,500 square feet to 2,000 square feet. It's going to be 3 to 4 bedrooms, either a 2 or 2.5 bath, and that's going to be what I would feel is like pretty good bang for your buck there in Central Murrieta. The other big plus about that area is because you are in the middle of the city, it's super accessible to all the other stuff that's a part of the city of Murrieta. So because you're right between two freeways, you can easily get on the 215 freeway, you can easily get on the 15 freeway, you can easily go north, you can easily go south, and you can very easily access the city of Temecula, which is probably like 7 to 10 minutes away. So I think the location is great, I think the low taxes are great, and it's an area that I think is a really good value. Area number 2 is the neighborhood of Alta Murrieta. So Alta Murrieta is not too far from there, but it's kind of more in the south, I guess it's the southeast portion of the city. So you have Murrieta Hot Springs is like a main road that is very long main road towards the bottom, towards the south of the city of Murrieta. You have the 215 freeway, and then right next to that is the neighborhood of Alta Murrieta. So Alta Murrieta, again, no HOA, again, it's a little bit older, low taxes, and really you can kind of get the same type of house that Central Murrieta area will give you. So about 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, about a 3 to 4 bedroom home. And again, I think that the location's really good, right on the border of Temecula, and I think it is a really good bang for your buck. Now, the one exception there in Alta Murrieta is depending which street you're on, because the taxes are a little bit lower, because there's no HOA, you will find different neighborhoods that have a ton of rentals in them. So because of that, yes, a couple of the streets might not be as well taken care of as other parts of the city. So that just means you want to pay attention, right? When you go to look at the house, pay attention to, as you're driving there and what the street looks like and what the curb appeal is, not just of the house that you're looking at, but the other houses around you. And there's many nice areas and streets and neighborhoods in Alta Murrieta, but there's a handful that they just have more rentals and just not as well taken care of. So something to pay attention to if you are thinking about buying a home in there. Area number 3 is the neighborhood of Rancho Bella Vista. This is one I'm probably a little bit biased because I used to live there. We lived there for like 8 years, with my family, and it's where, we started raising our kids, and, it's our first home that I bought with my wife and all that good stuff. So I'm probably a little bit biased, but I think it's a really good neighborhood. Rancho Bella Vista is more on the east side of Murrieta. What I think is really nice about it is considered City of Murrieta, but it's actually a part of the Temecula Valley Unified School District, which is a little bit of a plus. I mean, the Murrieta School District is still really good, but I think that there are some pros to being in the Temecula Valley School District. So there is an HOA, and it is a little bit newer homes. So the HOA is pretty low. It's about $45 per month. There's really not many amenities you're going to get for that. There's a community park in the neighborhood, and really it's just kind of a small HOA that tells you, hey, you can't paint your house pink, and keep some general, the general condition of the neighborhood pretty good. But there's not like a bunch of pools and pools and clubhouses or anything like that. None of that exists there. But the neighborhood is a little bit newer, so you're going to have homes built probably from like 2003 to 2008, and there's actually a newer section that's like 2012 to 2015 as well. So a little bit newer homes than some of the other homes that I was talking about. You can get a little bit bigger, so about 1,900 to 2,500 square feet. Taxes are a little bit higher there, so you got to pay attention to that. But small HOA and part of the Temecula Valley School District. Neighborhood number 4 that I would recommend is really, it's a part of the most desirable part of town. So it's the neighborhood of Vineyard Knolls. Vineyard Knolls is located in West Murrieta, which I told you is typically a little bit more expensive. What is kind of, I guess the reason it's not as expensive as the rest, as it's really the oldest section of West Murrieta, at least that I'm aware of, as far as tract homes that are in that area. So it's a little bit older homes. They're built kind of that late 80s to mid 90s. They do have a really nice HOA. It's not super expensive. You have a community pool, you have a community spa, but the location is great right there in West Murrieta, right off Clinton Keith. You can get a little bit bigger home, 1,700 to about 2,000 square feet, but really it's the location that's so desirable. Just gonna be a little bit older home, so you kind of get a little bit of a hodgepodge of something that's a little bit more remodeled or something that's more builder original, that's 30 plus years old now and probably needs some updating. But those would be the 4 neighborhoods I would recommend if that is the price range you're looking in. There's a lot of other great neighborhoods, but those are, I guess, 4 of my favorites. So Central Murrieta, Alta Murrieta, Rancho Bella Vista, and Vineyard Knolls. So anyways, hopefully that helps. If you have questions about any of the neighborhoods or any specific questions to me, feel free to reach out, call, text, email, and hopefully talk to you guys soon. Thanks.